Have you ever found yourself playing deathmatch for hours on end and seeing little to no improvement? I know this has certainly happened to me, and I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. So today I prepared 6 quick tips that will make your DM sessions instantly more productive. By the way, the VOD playing while I'll be talking will be my personal deathmatch session, so you guys can see how I apply all of these tips to my own gameplay. Okay, let's get straight into tip number 1, which is to warm up before deathmatch. I know. A lot of people treat deathmatch as a warm-up tool, but you clicked on this video not to learn how to warm up, but to learn how to actually improve at the game. And before practice, there always has to be a warm-up. So do yourself a favor and spend these additional 5 to 10 minutes on aimbots, just getting warm and ready to play. I have a YouTube shorts dedicated to my warm-up routine, so I suggest you check that out. And of course, only look at the aimbots part and ignore the rest. The link will be in the description. Tip number 2. Start actively thinking about your decisions. Yes, you should make correct decisions even in deathmatch. I see way too many people just turning their brain off completely when they join a deathmatch server, and I believe that to be the wrong approach. If you want to get better, you have to improve consciously first. I'm not joking when I say that whenever I play deathmatch, I think about every strafe I make. I do AD counter strafing, WS counter strafing, and heck, I will even try diagonal counter strafing too. Your every peek, every strafe, every micro adjustment should come with a purpose of either hard clearing an angle or reacting to something that happened on the screen. Also, do not make unnecessary moves, just like you would not want to make them in your own games. Keep your gun out at all times and only think about your next play. This brings us to tip number 3, which I believe to be the most important one. Before joining the server, think about the goals you want to achieve with this session. You will have to think of them for yourself, judging by the parts of your gameplay you want to improve, but here are a couple examples. Maybe you want to maintain a high headshot percentage throughout the whole session, like above 70%. Or maybe you want to practice your bursts. How about you unbind your crouch button and stop relying only on spraying? These are all great methods I use daily to improve, but you should not be limited to just those 3 examples. Having thresholds like that makes it way easier for your brain to unconsciously think about the correct habits. So the next time you join the deathmatch, set a goal for yourself and stick to it. Before I get into tip number 4, I've got a question. Have you ever felt bad because your friends are killing it in deathmatch, showing you screenshots of them having insane stat lines, and meanwhile you are barely above 1 KD? If you were in that situation, you should absolutely not even think about it. My point here is to look at the scoreboard only for your headshot percentage, or maybe even unbind tab altogether. The reason for that is in deathmatch, many different scenarios happen, and some of them are, for example, deaths from behind, which add up over time and, well, ruin your stats. This might lead to loss of confidence or self-esteem, and as CS players, and more importantly, human beings, we definitely do not want that. I would go as far as to say you can have a great deathmatch session while being below 0.7 KD. Remember, we are here to practice, not to brag about how many people we've killed or some irrelevant ratios. Stay focused on your goals and the rest will come naturally. This tip connects nicely with the next thing I want to talk about. This may sound odd, but you need the right mentality for deathmatch. Look, you need to be prepared that people are going to spawn in many locations you might be surprised by. If you've just killed a person on ramp, logically there should not be a second one there. And yet, you get killed by a guy from that exact location. What should you do in that situation? Definitely do not invite him to your friends list and don't write stupid comments. That's just childish. Instead, do the right thing. Shake it off, act like nothing happened, and most importantly, do not let the emotions of anger and frustration take over and let them distract you from why you're there, and that is to improve. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about the length of the sessions. People often associate deathmatch with grinding until they get 1000 kills, or you might have seen your favorite pro player make 3000 kills on deathmatch. Nico. Personally, I don't think that is necessary. You should only play until you can no longer focus. But your sessions also should not be shorter than 30 minutes. For me, the sweet spot is somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how I feel on that particular day. And it brings me great results. I improved, I'm not burnt out, and I'm not tired. What else would you want? Please, Don't listen to your friends who grind deathmatch for 5 hours a day. You and your mental health will help me later. A quick little bonus tip from me. Take off your headset. You really don't need sound in deathmatch. Instead of relying on audio cues, rely on your instincts. See how you spray and move around the map without sound. You may be surprised by how awkward it is at first, but after some time, you'll get used to it. And that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching until the end. It really means the world to me. I just hope you found at least one of these tips helpful. And I'll see you very soon. So stay safe, everybody. Happy grinding.